What's going on, everybody? This is going to be a response video to a question I've gotten in a few different videos, and that is how to effectively train or develop your deltoids or shoulders using a total gym or sliding bench trainer. So that's what I'll talk about in this video. If you guys have other stuff you guys want me to discuss or talk about, definitely feel free to drop it in the comment section. But as always, if you guys like this content, please consider liking and subscribing. It's always helpful. First thing I'll say with regards to developing and training the shoulders using a machine like this, a total gym, some other sliding bench, is that compared to other body parts, well, I've said it before that the total gym definitely works like it's great for pressing, great for pulling. You know, you can still work your legs, you can work everything, but it's really efficient and effective in a few particular body parts. I've said arms, did a whole video about how it's like one of the ideal home fitness equipments to train and work your arms, but shoulders would definitely be up there for sure. In fact, as I'm thinking about it out loud at the top of my head here, shoulders might be the #1 area you can really effectively work using this machine, because not only are you working your shoulders and doing a variety of pressing, whether it's shoulder pressing or straight chest pressing, you can also definitely work your shoulders while you're doing other pulling motions, especially in this incline position when you're doing an upright row or even a regular row. You're going to work the posterior deltoids. So the point is, you're going to be working, if you're moving your arms using this machine, you're going to be working your shoulders, and I think you do so really effectively. There's so many different angles to work at, from doing a variety of lateral raises, frontal raises, rear flies, stuff like that, and also definitely the inverted press, which I'll talk about. But one thing I'll say with regards to shoulder training, and I'll just talk for myself specifically, is that, you know, first off, there's only so many big areas we can think about. We can think about the deltoids as kind of 3 big geographical areas: the front, the side, and the back. You know, the frontal, lateral, and also the posterior side of our deltoids. And if we go to the gym, most people know the foundational shoulder exercises. We'll do some standard overhead presses, we'll do some lateral raises, frontal raises, rear flies. Early on, I shouldn't say early on, but later on I should say, as I was training for many years, I slowly got rid of a lot of this excessive shoulder stuff I was doing, because at least for me, I was finding that and again, everyone's different with their genetics and what stuff they want to emphasize in their training, but I was finding I was getting similar, if not very similar results, basically just minimizing, dropping some stuff out. So I would say the last maybe, like, I don't know, 7 years ago, 6 years ago, I just stopped doing, for the most part. I would do them on occasion, but I wouldn't really do lateral raises or frontal raises almost ever. Not to say I would never do them. I do them on occasion, but not to the extent when I was younger. I would do I always had to do a shoulder session that had a lot of lateral raises, a lot of frontal raises, have definitely a posterior side workout as well on top of the just overhead pressing. And what I've found is that I kind of, for the most part, ignored those up until I started playing around with the total gym or the sliding bench trainers. As you can see here, I mean, I'm doing some frontal raises. There's a number of ways you can do frontal raises. You guys already saw it in this video. I was doing some laying down. I'm doing some this way. The point is, I don't think you necessarily have to do them to develop your deltoids. I think you can develop your deltoids a lot just from doing the regular overhead press, a standard, or in this case, the inverted press on the total gym, where you're upside down. You guys saw that a second ago. But I guess what I'm trying to say is, if you really want to develop your shoulders and a particular part, I mean, definitely you can emphasize that particular area. So if you want to emphasize the front delts, do more frontal raises like this, do more inverted presses as well. If you want to get some of the, you know, a little bit more of the side, do more lateral raises, do more posterior rear flies if you want to emphasize the back side of your shoulders. But my point being is that I don't think you necessarily have to. What I think is most important if you want to develop your deltoids using this machine, and this might sound really overly simplistic, but I honestly think it's the truth, is just use the machine more, use more of your shoulder more. And you're going to use more of your shoulder if you're using the machine, you know, at least maybe 2 or 3 times a week using your arms, you know, basically working your upper body. So whether you want to divide that into a standalone shoulder day, I'll probably do a video in the future talking about split training. You could do that, but in my opinion, honestly, it sounds too simple, but just work your shoulders. If there's a particular area you want to have pop more than the other, like you want to see more of your side deltoids, as I said, just do more of that particular exercise. I know that's overly simplistic, but I guess my point is, with me personally, the majority of my shoulder stuff I'm doing, as you're seeing it in this video, because I'm emphasizing it as I was making this video, I probably maybe do at the most, I don't know, 3 or 4 sets of some lateral raises and frontal raises. Even these rear flies, which I often say are a key thing to do, because I think most people just lack development in the posterior side. The majority of what I do are these inverted presses. This is the majority of my shoulder work, but my shoulders and my deltoids are getting worked a lot, as I said, through doing my standard chest presses on the machine, and even my regular rowing. So again, I'm looking at myself, my own deltoids, saying, you know what, I'm happy with how they look. Granted, if my goal was to really make them cut and deep and stuff like that, what would I do differently? I would just add a few more exercises, a few more laterals, a few more frontals, a few more rear flies on those areas. I'd probably do them all around, just a few more extra all around, but that's basically what I would do. I guess my point in saying this is, with every individual, if they can't, I can't say it's every single person, but in general, if you want to develop your shoulders, you want your shoulders to kind of pop a little bit more. Depending on how long you've been working with the machine, that's something I don't really know, because if you just started using it, you're not seeing a whole lot yet. I would say just give it time. But the biggest thing is just use your arms more, do some more shoulder work, and there's no shortage of angles and things that you can do. Everything you're seeing in this video is all the angles and all the exercises that I would personally do on the machine. How you divide this up, honestly, is up to you. I would stick to, 60+% of your shoulder training being the inverted presses, and then pepper in some of these rear flies, lateral raises, these kind of this modified rear fly like you're seeing here as I'm sitting kneeling. I've even done this kind of standing as well, but pepper them in throughout your upper body training days. It kind of depends on your split and how you want to work this. If you're working your shoulders between 2 to maybe 3 times a week, maybe 1 to 3 exercises, 12 to 20 repetitions for maybe 3 sets, I think you're going to be okay. If you look in the past, all the classic bodybuilders back in the day developed great shoulders just using really 3 key exercises: frontal raises, side lateral raises, maybe overhead pressing. I guess fourth one being the rear flies as well, those key exercises. Shoulders can get really, hyper specific, and some people take this to like a next level of doing all these different cumbersome, super specific exercises. I don't think you really have to do that. In my opinion, keep it simple. The most important thing, as I've always said, get quality work, get quality volume in there, and I think you'll see growth. And definitely, it goes without saying, emphasize any weak areas that you particularly want to build up, and I think you'll be okay. If anything, the Total Gym hits and targets all these areas really effectively. So as long as you do the work, get the quality exercises in there, I think you're going to be good. So hopefully that answers your question. I'll see you guys in the next video.